we interrupt our regularly scheduled program for this special report.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are once again interrupting your regularly scheduled programming on Fox 8, ABC 23, as well as WJAC, as it has been a very active weather day thus far. We have had several severe thunderstorm warnings, as well as several tornado warnings, and that's why we are breaking into your coverage once again this afternoon, as we did just have another tornado warning issued for a actually different county other than the other ones that were issued before. As taking a look at that, on Doppler 6 satellite and radar. This tornado warning is currently in effect for Clarion and then moving into Jefferson County. So this storm is currently into Clarion County, but that will be crossing over into the Jefferson County line over around the next couple of minutes or so. So this tornado warning that you see here, that is within that severe thunderstorm warning. This tornado warning was just issued around a minute or so ago, and we will get some more information on that here. So this tornado warning is currently in effect for East Central Clarion County, as well as southwestern Jefferson County until around 4:30 this afternoon. So we will be sticking with you throughout the entirety of this warning, whether that is allowed to expire early or does continue through 4:30 or even is extended longer than that. We will be sticking with you throughout the entirety of this warning. So at around 3:56 p.m., this severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles to the southeast of Clarion, moving east at around 30 miles per hour. So again, there is no confirmed tornado on the ground from this storm as of yet, but we are still watching that radar indicated rotation within this storm. So we will zoom in a little bit closer here and put on our velocity to see kind of that rotation that we are watching and that we have been seeing in other storms. And yeah, here's a look at that radar indicated rotation. So if you have been watching throughout the rest of the afternoon, you have heard me go over this a couple of times. But if you are just joining us this afternoon, what we are looking for when we do look at this velocity product is those two colors, reds and greens, moving closer together and also darkening or becoming a little bit brighter. That indicates rotation within those severe thunderstorms, and that is what we are seeing on our radar currently. You can see those darker greens and blues here, followed by these reds up here. That is indicating winds that are going toward the radar. That is the greens and blues that you see there, and the reds indicating winds that are going away from the radar. So when you have those two coming closer together, that indicates that there is some rotation developing within that severe thunderstorm. And currently, the rotation that is within that storm is just outside of our viewing area, but that will be crossing over into Jefferson County over the next couple of minutes. So I am just going to point out that radar indicated rotation for you one more time, and the area that we are looking at is the area that we are circling here. So we'll zoom in a little bit closer. That circled area there is what we are looking at, and that change in color that you just saw is actually the radar switching between two different radar sites. So this area into Clarion and Jefferson counties is right in the middle of the State College radar site and the Pittsburgh radar site. So we are going to be switching through both of those radars to kind of get a better view at what's going on in this storm. It looks like this is probably our better view of the rotation within this storm. So again, what we are looking at is this area of blue-green here with this area of red moving closer together. That is indicating that there is some rotation within that severe thunderstorm. So we are going to put a storm cone on this and see where this storm will be heading over the next half hour or so for the duration of this tornado warning. So this storm was last located 7 miles southeast of Clarion and is moving around 30 miles per hour off to the east. So we will adjust this here, make sure that's going at 30, and then we will take a look at some more specific locations of where this storm could be heading over around the next 40 minutes or so. That does exceed the duration of this tornado warning, but as we have seen earlier today, we have seen rotation re-strengthen even after moving out of that tornado warning. So if you are anywhere within these two boxes that you see here, whether it is the red tornado warning box or the orange severe thunderstorm warning box, you will want to be keeping a very close eye on this tornado warning and the severe thunderstorm, you will want to be getting into your safe place now if you're not already there. So some locations that this storm could be moving through over the next 30 to around 45 minutes. Looks like Somerville, the next town directly in the path of this potentially tornado warning storm. By around 4:11, this storm will be moving through Somerville. By around 4:21 p.m., we are looking at this storm moving through Norman. That is, again, beginning to cross into Jefferson County. So that radar indicated rotation that we are seeing so far this afternoon is currently into Clarion County, but that will be crossing over into Jefferson County, likely within the next around 10 minutes or so. Knoxdale, be alert for this storm moving through your area at around 4:28 p.m. 4:37, this storm will likely be moving through O'Donnell, and by 4:42 p.m., this severe tornado warned storm will be moving through Reynoldsville. So we'll take this off here and get a look at what we are seeing on radar as well. So here is a look at that severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning that is currently into Clarion County, but that area of radar indicated rotation that we are seeing here will likely be crossing over into Jefferson County within the next 10 minutes or so. So if you are anywhere within this orange polygon here or this red box that you see here, that is our severe thunderstorm warning and our tornado warning, you will want to be getting to your safe place now. Best place to be will be a basement, but if you don't have a basement or if you are within a car or mobile home, if you are within a car, you will want to pull over, or if you do know anybody driving, be sure to call them and give them a heads up that they are within this tornado warning. You want to pull over and get to a sturdy shelter like a gas station or a rest stop. If you are within a mobile home, that is definitely not a safe place to be, as you could see severe damage to mobile homes from that potential tornado and even from straight line wind damage. If you are within a house, the best place to be will be any green highlighted area that you see here. Best place to be will be a basement, of course, but if you do not have a basement, the next best place to be will be these green highlighted areas here. Anywhere really that avoids windows, doors, and outside walls. So that does include staircases, interior hallways, closets, and bathrooms, of course, without windows. Those are your best places to go. And in addition to that, if you are within that tornado warning, it might be a good idea to get into one of those safe places that we just mentioned there, and also cover yourself with blankets, maybe even a mattress, or even put on a helmet to protect yourself from potential flying debris. Again, we don't have a confirmed tornado on the ground just yet. We are just monitoring that radar indicated rotation. But again, these storms have been rapidly changing today and have shown some signs of development and potential tornadic development. So even if you aren't within the severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warning that we are currently breaking into your coverage for, you will still want to keep a very close eye on any storms that develop this afternoon, as our entire area under some risk for severe weather. Most of our area under that level 3 enhanced risk for severe weather. To put that in perspective, Pennsylvania normally only gets around 5 of those enhanced risks per year. So far this year, Pennsylvania has gotten around 5 of them. So it has been a pretty active season thus far. But what an enhanced risk means is that all of these severe weather risks are on the table, and we already have seen quite a few of them materialize this afternoon. Tornadoes, obviously possible. We've had quite a few tornado warnings develop so far today, and we are going to continue to monitor that potential throughout the rest of the day. Large hail is also possible. High wind gusts up to around 60, even exceeding 60 miles per hour within any severe thunderstorm. And then localized flooding is also possible, as well, as we have had some slow-moving torrential downpours moving through the area. Starting earlier this morning, a lot of you might have gotten woken up to those downpours and some frequent thunder and lightning. That is also on the table as we head toward the rest of the afternoon. So even if you aren't within these current severe warnings that we are covering this afternoon, you will want to have multiple ways to receive any watches and warnings that will be issued throughout the rest of the day, as all of those severe weather threats are on the table. And so far this afternoon, we do have a flood watch in effect for the counties highlighted in green here, and even flood warnings in effect for portions of Somerset and Bedford counties. We did have a flood warning in effect for portions of Indiana County as well. That has since been allowed to expire. Also, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the entire area. So what this means is even though we aren't seeing severe warnings for the entire area this afternoon, a watch means that all of the ingredients are there for the potential for severe weather to form. So everyone is going to want to keep your devices charged throughout the rest of the day and have multiple ways to receive any watches and warnings that are going to be issued throughout the rest of the day. So we'll go back to our satellite and radar this afternoon. If you are just joining us this afternoon, we have been tracking out quite a bit of severe weather. We are waiting for that to load there. And it looks like the hotspot for severe weather so far this afternoon has been our northern counties. I was taking a look at Doppler 6 satellite and radar. The one that we are really focusing on now is this tornado warning. That is in effect for portions of Clarion County, and then eventually that storm will move into Jefferson County. That storm, again, capable of producing that radar indicated rotation and some stronger wind gusts. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that area. And then where we have seen a few tornado warnings so far this afternoon, those have since been allowed to expire, has been into Elk and Cameron counties. Right now, we still do just have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for those areas, producing some torrential downpours, very frequent lightning, and the potential for some stronger wind gusts. But the storm that we are really focusing on during this broadcast this afternoon is this storm that is just beginning to make its way into Jefferson County. We will take out the lightning here so we can get a better view of this storm. This storm was last located just to the south of Clarion. This storm was located just 7 miles southeast of Clarion around 15 minutes ago, moving off to the east at around 30 miles per hour. So even if this storm is not producing a tornado on the ground right now, there are still other hazards in play, as we still do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the areas highlighted in orange there. That's in effect through around 4:45 p.m. as this storm, again, capable of producing some frequent lightning, some very strong wind gusts, even exceeding 60 miles per hour, and some torrential rainfall, leading to that potential for some flooding. But this storm was last located again to the southeast of Clarion, moving off to the east at around 30 miles per hour. So if you are within these highlighted areas here, you will definitely want to get to your safe spot now if you are not already there. And also make sure that you have a way to either listen to this broadcast so you can listen to the latest updates on this storm, or make sure that you have a way to receive any additional watches or warnings as they are issued through the next few hours. So again, what we do like to look at for these tornado warnings is the velocity. That is showing us the winds within the storm, and that is showing us where we are seeing that radar indicated rotation. So here's a look at that on the current velocity map. So we'll zoom in a little bit closer there. So what we are looking for again on this is those reds and greens going closer together, and that's exactly what we are seeing. Still mostly into Clarion County, but it does look like that is just starting to move into Jefferson County. I'll circle the area that we're looking at there for that radar indicated rotation. This is what we are looking at. Again, no confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground, but this is that area of rotation that we are watching. Moving off to the east at around 30 miles per hour. Now just beginning to cross into Jefferson County, so now just beginning to move into our area. If you do know anybody driving along Route 28, as well as Route 36, you will want to tell them to pull over and get into a sturdier shelter, as it does look like they are directly in the path of this radar indicated rotation. Looks like that rotation is just beginning to move over Route 28 this afternoon and making its way toward Route 36. So we are going to put another storm cone on this to show where this will be heading over the next around 15 minutes or so. Maybe we'll even extend it a little bit farther than that. We'll do the next around half hour to 40 minutes, while we still do have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect as well. So we'll just move that over there. So here's a look at some more specific towns that could be within the path of this storm. within the time of that tornado warning. Conifer around 4:19 p.m. So within the next 5 to 6 minutes or so, we are expecting that radar indicated rotation to be moving over your area. If you are not within your tornado safe space right now, you will want to get there very quickly as this storm is heading your way within the next couple of minutes. By around 4:23 p.m. we are expecting this storm to move through Norman into Jefferson County. By around 4:28, Tate by around 4:39, we are expecting this storm to move into O'Donnell. And then by around 4:44 p.m., we are expecting this potential tornadic storm to move through Reynoldsville. And while that is still outside of the time of our tornado warning, that is still within the time frame of our severe thunderstorm warning, which is in effect for those areas as well. And we do have to keep a pretty close eye on exactly what these storms are doing, as they have shown that potential to strengthen and produce that rotation historically over the past couple of hours. So this is the storm that we are currently looking at now. We are still seeing that radar indicated rotation, and even if it isn't producing a tornado on the ground right now, still has that potential to produce some frequent lightning, torrential downpours, and some very strong wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour. So if you are within these two areas that we are looking at here, that is the tornado warning, that rotation just beginning to cross into Jefferson County this afternoon, and then the larger orange box that you see here, that is our severe thunderstorm warning. That's in effect through 4:45 this afternoon. That does include that tornado warning, as well as the threat for some torrential rain and some strong wind gusts. So if you are within those two boxes that we are seeing there, you will want to get into your tornado safe spot if you're not already. You should be getting there over the next couple of minutes or so, as that storm is moving to the east at around 30 miles per hour. If you know anybody driving, you will want to tell them to pull over and get into a sturdier shelter and wait until after that storm passes to continue their travels. If you are in a mobile home, you will want to get to a sturdier shelter, as well as the potential tornado and also those strong winds could produce damage to mobile homes. And then if you are within a house, best places to be will be the areas highlighted in green here. Basement is your absolute best place to be, as you are underground, away from windows, doors, and outside walls. If you do not have a basement, the next best places to be will be the areas highlighted in green here. That does include closets, hallways, staircases, and also interior bathrooms, of course, without windows. An additional thing that you could do to try and keep yourself safe as well is to cover yourself with blankets or even a mattress for protection. You could also put a helmet on to protect yourself from that potential flying debris. And again, safest place to be within a home will absolutely be in the basement. If you don't have one, you will want to get into that interior room. And also something very important for this afternoon is that we do see that potential for some strong winds as well as tornadoes. So that will lead to the potential for some downed trees and even down power lines, meaning that power outages are on the table for today. And with all of the watches, warnings, and advisories that we have been seeing so far this afternoon, it will be very important to keep those devices charged so you know you will have a way to receive any update to a watch or warning as they are issued, and also have multiple ways to receive those warnings, such as your mobile devices, TV, and even radio. So very important, as our severe weather threat is likely to persist throughout the rest of the afternoon and even into this evening. So if you are just tuning in to us this afternoon on either Fox 8, ABC 23, or WJAC, we have been interrupting your regularly scheduled programming quite a bit over the past few hours, as it has been a very active afternoon. What we are watching currently is some severe thunderstorm warnings and, more importantly, a tornado warning. That currently moving through Clarion and Jefferson counties, and we'll get back to that in just a second. But even if you are not within these areas that are highlighted here, under those current severe warnings, it's still going to be very, very important to pay attention to any watch or warning that is issued throughout the rest of the day, as our environment is very favorable for severe weather development today. We do have a cold front moving through the area, bringing us this severe weather, and our entire area is at least under some risk for severe weather. Most spots under that level 3 enhanced risk today. meaning that really all severe weather threats are on the table. Tornadoes are possible. We're already seeing that this afternoon. We haven't had any confirmed reports of tornadoes, but a lot of these storms are starting to spin and show that radar indicated rotation. Hail is possible as well. High winds within any severe thunderstorm exceeding 60 miles per hour. So we'll see that potential for damage to roofs, windows, siding, and also we could see some downed trees and some downed power lines. So again, keep your devices charged and have many ways to receive warnings. And we also will see that potential for some localized flooding. We have seen some torrential downpours throughout most of the day, especially earlier this morning. A lot of you might have been woken up by some frequent lightning and thunder and some very heavy rain. So all these threats are on the table, and we do have many watches, warnings, and advisories to go along with that. Flood watch in effect for now our entire area. Elk and Cameron counties were not included in that flood watch earlier today. Those counties have just been added on to that. So if you absolutely do have to travel today, be alert for some ponding on the roadways as we are seeing those downpours. We also do have a flood warning in effect for portions of Somerset and Bedford counties this afternoon, and that will continue through around 6 o'clock this evening. And even though we aren't seeing severe thunderstorm warnings for our entire area, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the entire area. So what that does mean is that the ingredients for severe weather are there, and that severe thunderstorm development is possible in all of the areas highlighted here throughout the rest of the afternoon and the evening. So it will be very important to stay tuned to those severe weather alerts. But what we are continuing to focus on this afternoon is our tornado warning, as well as our severe thunderstorm warnings. So once this loads here, we'll bring that back up. We do have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. One is in effect for portions of northern Center County. That storm is currently producing some frequent lightning and very heavy rain. We also are still watching that for potential radar indicated rotation, as that storm has had a history of producing that rotation, as well as some strong winds into Elk and Cameron counties. We did have some reports of some trees down and some flooding into our northern counties as well. Then this storm now beginning to move into Jefferson County. So this tornado warning was just edited a few minutes ago to now not include Clarion County and just include Jefferson County. So we are going to get some more information on that there. This storm was last located 7 miles southeast of Clarion, still moving to the east at around 30 miles per hour. This severe thunderstorm is capable of producing wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Still no confirmed tornado on the ground, but we are watching that radar indicated rotation, and we will get to that one in just a second here. We'll check out what our velocity is currently looking like there. We'll pull this up for you and see where that radar indicated rotation will be heading over the next around 10 minutes or so, as this tornado warning is currently set to expire at around 4:30. So we will be sticking with you throughout the entirety of this tornado warning. And of course, if it is extended into further eastern Jefferson County, we'll continue to stick with you during that as well. But what we do look for, again, we have gone over this quite a few times. What we are looking at here is our velocity. This is showing us the winds within the storms. Reds showing winds that are going away from the radar site in State College, and blues and greens there showing winds that are going toward the radar. When we see these 2 colors starting to darken and also come closer together, that is indicating some rotation within that storm. So that is what we are still seeing on our radar this afternoon. I will circle the area that we're looking at right now for just a better view here. And this, you might see it change colors here or there, as this area is in between the radar sites in State College and Pittsburgh. So if you do see the colors jump around a bit, it's just the radar switching between those 2 radar sites, trying to get the best view of this storm for you. But the area that we circled there is what we are looking at for that radar indicated rotation and potential tornado. So this is heading over some major roadways now. I believe when we clear this out, we'll see what roadway that is. That is Route 36. If you do know anybody that will be traveling over that interstate over the next around 10 minutes or so, you will want to tell them to pull over, get into a safer spot, as we are seeing that rotation just getting ready to move over that roadway within the next couple of minutes. So we are going to just zoom out here, and I will put a storm cone back on here to show some more specific locations that this storm will be moving through over the next around 10 to 15 minutes or so. that this tornado warning is in effect. So still moving off to the east at around 30 miles per hour. We'll put that storm cone on there, and we actually will extend that farther than the tornado warning and actually extend it to the end of the severe thunderstorm warning, as anybody within this severe thunderstorm warning should be keeping a very close eye on it, as we have seen some other storms that were developing earlier today have ended up either seeing that rotation weaken or re-strengthen downstream. So we are going to keep a close eye on really any storm that does develop today. So a couple towns that are in the direct path of this radar indicated rotation this afternoon. By around 4:26 this afternoon, we are expecting this storm to move through McGarry by around 4:33, which is after this tornado warning is set to expire. But again, if you are within any of these locations that I'm mentioning now, you will want to be keeping a very close eye on this and get into your tornado safe spot if you're not there already. O'Donnell by around 4:45 p.m. By around 4:50 this afternoon, we are expecting this storm to move through Reynoldsville. And then by around 4:57, we are expecting this storm to move through Sykesville. So even if this storm is not producing a tornado on the ground right now, it still is bringing some other severe weather threats, such as that frequent lightning, some downpours, and some strong wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour. So if you are within those two areas that we were talking about there under the tornado warning and severe thunderstorm warning within Jefferson County, and you are not within your safe spot, you will want to get there now. If you know anyone driving, tell them to pull over and get into a sturdier building, as a vehicle is not a safe place to be during a tornado warning. If you know anyone in a mobile home, tell them to get into a sturdier building as well, as the strong winds could produce damage to mobile homes as well as windows, siding, roofs. We could see some downed trees and down power lines. Best place to be if you are within a home is a basement. You'll be underground and away from any outside windows, doors, or walls. But if you do not have a basement, the next best place to be is going to be any interior room that you see highlighted in green here. That includes staircases, interior hallways, closets, or a bathroom, of course, if it doesn't have a window. Those are going to be your best places to be if you are within that tornado warning. So we will get back to looking at that tornado warning on our satellite and radar this afternoon and see if there's been any updates to that. That is currently set to expire at around 4:30 this afternoon. So it looks like this tornado warning, as long as it is not extended into eastern Jefferson County, will be in effect for around the next 5 minutes or so. We are going to take a look at that here. We'll take off the lightning so we could get a closer look at this storm. Areas highlighted in red here, that is what we are seeing, those areas under the tornado warning. We're seeing that radar indicated rotation there, some heavy downpours, and we were seeing a little bit of lightning with that storm as well. And then this storm is also capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, even outside of this tornado warning. Severe thunderstorm warning is the box that you see highlighted here in orange, and that does go to the Clearfield County line. So even areas like DuBois into Grampian will want to be keeping a close eye on this storm, as it is continuing to move off to the east at around 40 miles per hour. So we will just check in with the National Weather Service for any additional updates on this. It looks like currently no additional updates, so we are going to be sticking with this tornado warning for you for the next couple of minutes while that's still in effect. This storm is also capable of producing some hail as well, so keep that in mind. Maximum hail size could be up to 1 inch. And again, no confirmed tornado on the ground yet, but we are still seeing that radar indicated rotation. We'll go back to our velocity scans one more time here to see what kind of trends that we are seeing within this severe thunderstorm and tornado warning. So again, what we're looking for are those greens and blues and reds that are coming right next to each other. And we'll actually go back to when this when this tornado warning rather was issued. You can see those darker colors there, the greens and the reds coming closer together. So it does look like, as we go through this loop over the past couple of minutes, that it does look like that rotation is starting to weaken a bit. Our last radar scan showed some of those darker blues and reds next to each other, and it does look like that a new tornado warning was issued for that same storm. So we are going to continue to stick with you with this tornado coverage through around 5:15 p.m. We should just have an additional tornado warning issued for this same storm. So we'll go back to our radar here while we get some more information on this additional tornado warning that was issued for Jefferson County. So we'll get some more information on that for you here. So this tornado warning was issued just about a minute ago for southern Jefferson County, and this will be in effect through 5:15 p.m. this evening. So we will be sticking with you throughout the entirety of this tornado warning, or until 5:15, or if it is allowed to expire before then, we will be sticking with you through that time period. So this tornado warning is in effect for southern Jefferson County at around 4:27 p.m. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles to the south of Brookville. This storm moving southeast at around 30 miles per hour. So still relatively slow moving thunderstorms this afternoon. Again, no confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground, but we are still seeing that radar indicated rotation that we were talking about earlier. Could see some potential flying debris that could be very dangerous to those not within a shelter. So if you do know anybody driving, you will want to tell them to pull over, get into a safer spot like a gas station or a rest stop. Mobile homes also not a great place to be, as those damaging winds could produce damage there. You will want to get into a sturdier shelter if you are within these tornado warnings and you are within a mobile home. And if you are within your home, you will want to get to a basement or an interior room, staying away from windows. You can cover yourself with blankets, pillows, or even a mattress. You could also put on a helmet to protect yourself from some potential flying debris. So move to an interior room on the lowest floor of your building. If you're outdoors, move to the closest shelter to protect yourself from that flying debris. So again, no confirmed tornado on the ground yet, but we are watching that radar indicated rotation. So we'll get a closer look at this on current Doppler 6 satellite and radar this afternoon. Looks like our northern counties have really been the hot spots for severe weather this afternoon, as we have had quite a few tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings issued, mostly for our northern counties. We did have a few in our southern counties as well, but most of that severe activity has been off to the north. So currently we do have 2 tornado warnings in effect. That first red box that you see off to the west, that one will likely disappear over the next minute or so, and then we are extending that warning into the new tornado warning just like that. That goes to the county line. So here's a look at that storm on Doppler 6 satellite and radar. We are seeing some torrential rain with that storm, as well as some frequent lightning and some gusty winds. This storm is capable of producing wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour on top of that radar indicated rotation. So anybody within these 2 polygons that you see there, that is that red box and that orange box, will want to be keeping a very close eye on this storm and will want to get into your safe space if you are not there already. So again, best spot in a house would be a basement. If you don't have a basement, get into any interior room away from outside windows and walls. So next thing that we are going to look at here is our velocity product. That is going to show us the winds inside the storm. It does look like that rotation is starting to tighten up a bit. So what we do look for here, once again, is the 2 different colors, greens and blues, and reds coming kind of closer together and also darkening up. That is showing the winds that are going toward and away from the radar sites, indicating that radar indicated rotation. So this is the area of rotation that we are looking at currently. It's where we are seeing those reds and those blue greens coming closer together, and they will continue to move off to the southeast at around 30 to 40 miles per hour. So I will circle that area of rotation there for you. So that's the area of rotation that we are looking at, where we are seeing those reds and greens coming together, and that is what prompted our tornado warning this afternoon. We are going to throw a storm cone on this once again to see some more specific locations that this potential tornado could be impacting throughout the duration of this tornado warning, which again is in effect until around 5:15 p.m. this afternoon, or this evening rather, and we will continue to stick with you throughout the entirety of this warning, whether it goes until 5:15, is extended after that, or is allowed to expire early. So this storm is still currently moving southeast at around 30 miles per hour. So we will delete our drawings on here and then put a storm cone on this so we can see some more specific locations that this storm could be moving through within the next half hour or so. So we are seeing that area of radar indicated rotation that could be moving toward Crawfordtown at around 4:45 p.m. If I do mention your town here, you will want to be getting into your tornado safe spot if you're not there already. 4:48 p.m. Spindletown, one get in your safe spot now. 4:53 p.m. Robertsville. 4:56 p.m. Gaskill, and by 5:02 p.m. Troutville will be in the direct path of this storm. So if you are within any of those areas that I mentioned there, you will want to get in your safe spot now. Also, we will see the potential for some downed trees, down power lines, and that could lead to some potential power outages. So it is going to be incredibly important that if you are getting into your tornado safe spot now, that you are within an area that you can continue listening to me on this broadcast. I'll provide you with all the information that you need through the end of this warning. Also, keep your devices charged just in case that power does go out. You'll have some other ways to receive watches and warnings if they are issued throughout the rest of the afternoon, and we likely will continue to see this severe weather threat throughout the rest of the afternoon and even well into this evening. So if you are watching this broadcast now and you aren't within the areas that we are talking about that are currently in those severe warnings, you will still want to pay close attention to these storms throughout the rest of the afternoon and well into this evening, as our entire area is under some risk for severe weather today. Most of our area is under that level 3 enhanced risk for severe weather. Southern counties under like Bedford and Somerset under that level 2 slight risk for severe weather. And to put this into perspective, the state of Pennsylvania only gets around 5 enhanced risks per year. This is our 5th one for the year in Pennsylvania itself. It might not be necessarily the 5th in our area, but that does mean it has been a very active severe weather season thus far. And what that enhanced risk means is that really any severe weather risk will be on the table throughout the rest of today. Tornadoes, of course, we're already seeing a lot of these threats materializing this afternoon. And even though we have not gotten any confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground, we have gotten reports of flooding and wind damage. So many threats are possible throughout the rest of today. Hail is possible, high winds exceeding 60 miles per hour in any severe thunderstorm that does develop today. And we also will see the potential for some localized flooding. We've also seen that threat materialize as we had some very heavy rain and some very frequent thunder and lightning moving through the area earlier this morning. A lot of you might have been woken up by some of that thunder and that heavy rain. But due to that, we do have a flood watch still in effect for the entire area highlighted here. We actually did just have Elk and Cameron counties added on to that. So if you do have to head out really anywhere today, you will want to be alert for some ponding on the roadways as well as some rapidly changing weather conditions as we are seeing these showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon. We do have a flash flood warning in effect for portions of Somerset and Bedford counties, and then the entire area under a severe thunderstorm watch. So even though we aren't seeing warnings popping up for the entire area to start this afternoon, severe weather is definitely on the table. What a watch means is that all of the ingredients for severe weather are there and could come together. So severe weather on the table for everybody throughout the rest of the afternoon. So even if you aren't within the current watches and warnings that we are following, you will want to keep a very close eye on the radar and also on us here on WJAC, Fox 8 and ABC 23 throughout the rest of the afternoon, as we'll continue to keep you updated on any watches and warnings that are issued throughout the rest of the day. So if you are just joining us now on Fox 8, ABC 23, or WJAC, we have been breaking into your regularly scheduled programming quite a bit over the past few hours, as it has been a very active weather day thus far. We have had flash flood warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, and also a few tornado warnings. It looks like the severe weather hotspot for our area so far this afternoon has been our northern counties, Elk, Cameron, even into Jefferson now. That's where we have had most of our severe weather activity so far this afternoon. We currently do have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings as well as a tornado warning in effect for portions of Jefferson County. We are going to take a quick look at our other severe thunderstorm warning. That is in effect for portions of Center County, and as you can see on current Doppler 6 satellite and radar, this storm is producing some frequent lightning, gusty winds, and torrential rain. And this storm actually does have a history of producing that radar indicated rotation that prompted some tornado warnings into Elk and Cameron counties earlier this afternoon. Thankfully, that rotation has weakened just a bit, but we are still left with some frequent lightning and some gusty winds. So we are going to get a little bit more information on this storm here That severe thunderstorm warning is in effect through 5:15. It was last located over East Keating, moving east at around 30 miles per hour. So this storm is capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. You could see damage to roofs, siding, trees, also some down power lines. So power outages are possible. So it will be very important to keep any devices charged and make sure that you have additional ways to receive any watch, warning, or advisory that is issued throughout the rest of the day. So we are going to be keeping still a close eye on that storm into northern Center County, but our main concern this afternoon is our tornado warning that is into portions of Jefferson County this afternoon. So we will take a closer look at that on satellite and radar right now. That tornado warning was issued earlier this afternoon. It is in effect through 5:15 p.m. We will be sticking with you with live coverage on any additional updates to that throughout the rest of this warning period time, which is until around 5:15 p.m. So we'll take a look at the velocity within this storm, and that's what does show us what exactly is going on within the storm. That's where we see that radar indicated rotation and the winds within the storm as well. So we'll get up to that just right about now. And yeah, it still is looking like that radar indicated rotation still staying pretty strong within this storm into Jefferson County. What we're looking for, those blues and greens coming closer to those reds, and that's what we are continuing to see within this storm. We haven't really seen much weakening over the past around 5 to 10 minutes within this severe storm. We are seeing that radar indicated rotation now moving over Route 36, just beginning to approach Route 310 as well, Route 410 in this, 119. If you do know anybody that will be driving over those roads within this warning time up until 5:15, you will want to tell them to pull over and get into a safer spot. That would be perhaps a gas station, maybe even a rest stop, but a car is not a safe spot to be. We also did have another severe thunderstorm warning issued just behind this one, so we will be keeping a close eye on that one as well. But I am going to put a storm cone on this once again. That'll show us some more specific locations this storm will be heading through throughout the warning time. So let's just double check the current speed of this storm, and yeah, it's still moving to the south-southeast at around 30 miles per hour. So we'll put that storm cone on there now, and we'll even extend it out a little bit farther than the duration of the tornado warning, as we have seen these storms end up re-strengthening downstream of the warnings, or we have seen these warnings get extended a bit. So current velocity, what we are looking at right here, this is the rotation that we are looking at. Looks like that rotation will start to approach Anita at around 4:44 p.m. If I do mention your town name in any of these, you will want to get to your tornado safe spot now if you're not there already, and also make sure that you are in a spot that you could hear this broadcast, that you could hear this information. We'll be keeping you updated through the end of this tornado warning, which is currently scheduled for around 5:15 p.m. Around 4:48 p.m., this potential tornadic storm is expected to move through Spindletown. 4:54 p.m. This storm will be approaching Big Run. 4:57 p.m. Stump Creek, and by 5:03 p.m. this storm will likely be approaching Troutville. So if I did mention your town there, you will want to be heading into your tornado safe spot now if you are not there already. We will check in for any updates from the National Weather Service on this storm. Doesn't look like any additional information has been set out now. We also have not had any confirmed damage reports, but that is something that we will be keeping an eye out for, as this storm is capable of producing that radar indicated rotation, as well as some strong wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour. So we are going to go back now to regular Doppler 6 satellite and radar and take a look at kind of all of the watches and warnings that we do have going on across the area, as even though our severe weather hotspot so far this afternoon has been our northern counties, we do see that potential for severe weather across the entire area today. So zooming in a little bit closer to Jefferson County now, we now have 3 different types of warnings in effect there. The red box that you see that we've been focusing on mostly this afternoon is our tornado warning. The orange box is a severe thunderstorm warning. And then we did also just have a flood warning issued for portions of Jefferson County as well. And that is where this storm has gone through over the past half hour or so. So you can see that darker maroon looking box, that is our flash flood warning. Flash flood warning has been issued for central Clarion County as well as southwestern Jefferson County. Doppler radar has indicated those thunderstorms producing some torrential rainfall across the area. So far, we have received reports of around 1.5 to up to 2 inches of rain have fallen within that area. So if you absolutely do have to head out on the roads within that area that you see highlighted there, you will want to watch out for potential flooding and ponding on the roadways. And we are expecting some additional rainfall on top of that. As you do see that, we do have another severe thunderstorm issued just behind that into portions of Clarion County, and that storm still producing some frequent lightning as well as some torrential downpours as well. So we could expect an additional around 1 to 2 inches of rain within that warned area. So flash flooding is likely ongoing there or expected to begin shortly. So we could see flash floodings of small creeks and streams as well as urban areas, ponding on highways, streets and underpasses, as well as other poor areas of drainage and low-lying areas. So some locations that could be experiencing that flash flooding now will be Clarion, Brookville, Somerville, Knox, Shippensville, and Knoxdale. So that's another threat to keep in mind. As I was talking about earlier, we really do have every type of severe weather threat on the table today. Our main concern is still that tornado warning, but if you are not within these severe warnings that we are talking about now, this is still something you have to think about throughout the rest of today. It will be very important to keep those devices charged and to have multiple ways to receive watches, warnings, and advisories as they are issued. Our entire area under at least some risk for severe weather today. Most of our area under that level 3 enhanced risk for severe weather. Now, to put that into perspective, that doesn't happen all too often in Pennsylvania. We normally get around 5 enhanced risks per severe weather season. So far this year, Pennsylvania has had around 5 of those issued, so it has been a relatively active season thus far. But again, what that enhanced risk means is that every type of severe weather threat is on the table. Tornadoes are very well possible. While we haven't had any confirmed report of a tornado on the ground just yet, we have seen those storms starting to rotate. We've seen that radar indicated rotation. So tornadoes are definitely possible, especially into those storms that are moving to the southeast. Hail is possible in any severe thunderstorm as well. We also are seeing that potential for some high wind gusts exceeding 60 miles per hour, and torrential rainfall is possible as well. Like I was just mentioning, we did have that flash flood warning issued for portions of Jefferson County, and we do have a couple more of those issued for other portions of the area as well. So due to that torrential rainfall, our entire area is under a flood watch. We do have those flash flood warnings in effect for portions of Jefferson, Somerset, and Bedford counties. So be alert for some flooding along low-lying areas, creeks and streams, as well as areas of poor drainage, and be alert for some ponding on the roadways. Also, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning, or severe thunderstorm watch rather, in effect for the entire area, which means that all of the ingredients for severe weather are there and that additional warnings are possible throughout the rest of this afternoon as this severe weather threat continues. So we'll go back to our satellite and radar there, check in, see if we have any additional damage reports or any additional information. We are seeing some roadway flooding into Clarion County and also some damage reports now coming out of Clarion County. This is coming from the National Weather Service chat saying that there are some trees down in the limestone area, as well as a report of a tree on a house. So if you are within this severe thunderstorm warning or the tornado warning, it looks like we just got an update to that tornado warning as well. It does have a history of producing damage. Now, while we haven't had that confirmed tornado yet, we are still seeing some potentially strong wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, torrential rainfall, and we are still keeping a very close eye on that radar indicated rotation, as we haven't really seen very much weakening, if any weakening at all, within that rotation since this tornado warning has been issued. So we'll take a closer look at that on our velocity. That's where we'll take a look at some of the winds that are currently present within the storm. And it does look like that rotation is starting to broaden a bit. We'll go back to some previous scans. So in this previous scan, you can see the darker blue coming into that darker red. That's indicating some tighter, more intense rotation within that storm. And it does look like over the past maybe around 1 to 2 scans, we are starting to see those colors lighten a little bit, meaning that rotation may be starting to widen or weaken a bit. But we still are seeing that radar indicated rotation within that storm. We are looking for the reds and greens coming closer together, and I will circle that for you so we can get just a little bit of a better view of what we're looking at currently. So we'll put a circle around that. That's the area that we're looking at right now. Looks like that's just off to the north of Punxsutawney. That is the area that we are looking at for a potential tornado and that radar indicated rotation. This storm is continuing to move off to the southeast at around 30 miles per hour. So relatively slow moving storms this afternoon, and that is what's leading to that torrential rainfall and also that potential for some flooding. So I'll put a storm cone back on this again so we could see exactly where this storm will be heading over the rest of the warning time, which right now that tornado warning is currently set to expire at around 5:15 p.m. This evening. We'll just check in for any additional updates there. It looks like we are still all good with the information that we got. And we will just move this over here, put a storm cone on this, still moving to the southeast at around 30 miles per hour. And I will extend this farther than the warning time, just in case this storm does end up re-strengthening, which we have seen. That has been a trend in some of the other storms that we saw earlier today. So if I do mention your town here, you will want to be in your tornado safe spot now. If you're not already, you will want to get there as soon as possible. This storm expected to move through Spindletown at 4:48 p.m. So that is right now. Spindletown should be in your safe spot right now by around 4:55 p.m. We are expecting this storm to move through Big Run. 5:06 p.m. Clover Run, and by 5:09 we are expecting this storm to move through Newtonburg. So if I did mention your town there, you will want to be in your tornado safe spot now. That safe spot, if you are within a car or know anybody driving within those towns that I mentioned, you will want to tell them to get to a safe spot now. Pull over, get into a sturdy building like a rest stop or a gas station. If you are within a mobile home, you will want to get out of that and get into a sturdier building, as well as those stronger wind gusts exceeding 60 miles per hour could produce some damage to mobile homes. And of course, if you are within a home, the best place to be within a home is the basement. Next best spot to be, if you do not have a basement, will be any interior room away from outside walls, windows, and doors. So that would be staircases, hallways, closets, or bathrooms if they don't have windows, of course. So any area that you see highlighted in green here is the best place to go within a home. You could also use some additional tips to protect yourself. You could cover yourself with a blanket or mattress, even put on a helmet to protect yourself from flying debris. But again, best place to be if you are within that tornado warning this afternoon in Jefferson County will be into the basement or any interior room. So we will go back to our satellite and radar this afternoon. If you are just joining us now on Fox 8, ABC 23, or even WJAC, we have been breaking into your coverage, regularly scheduled coverage, quite a bit this afternoon. We will continue to bring you that coverage, but at 5 o'clock on Fox 8, we will be joining the Fox coverage there, but we will still have you covered with the latest updates if anything else does develop after that 5 p.m. time frame on ABC 23 as well as WJAC. So again, in around 10 minutes or so, we are going to join regular Fox coverage, but we'll still be live with this tornado coverage on ABC 23 and WJAC as well. So if you are just joining us, we have been doing this for quite a few hours now. We have had multiple watches, warnings, and advisories issued across the entire area, but it looks like our severe weather hotspot so far has been our northern counties. So we are still tracking out a potential tornado, and we are getting some word from the National Weather Service chat. Not sure if in the control room we could check this out. They are saying there's an image on social media of a potential tornado from the Somerville area. We'll try and check that out and see if we can get more information on that. But we are watching some very tight rotation on radar within that storm. We're going to hop over to that right now so we could get a closer look at this. We have been seeing some very strong rotation within this storm since the warning was issued about a half hour ago, but it thankfully does look like that is starting to weaken a bit. The areas that we are looking at for that radar indicated rotation is areas of red and greens getting closer together. If you have been with us for our tornado coverage earlier this afternoon, you have heard me go over this quite a few times. But what we do look for is those darker reds and greens coming together. That is showing winds that are going toward and away from the radar. Green is showing winds that are going toward the radar site. This one would be in State College. And then reds are showing winds that are going away from the radar site. So when we see that, that tells us what's going on within inside of those storms. That's showing us that the winds are going toward and away from the radar, and that does indicate some radar indicated rotation within those storms. So while we don't have we have seen some potential photos of that. We don't have a confirmation of a tornado on the ground yet, but this storm is definitely capable of producing some damage. We have seen some torrential rainfall within that storm, some strong wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour, as well as that radar indicated rotation. So this storm looks like it is passing just to the north of Punxsutawney right now, getting ready to move over Route 119 as well as 410. So if you do know anybody that is going to be traveling on those roads within this tornado warning, this is scheduled to be in effect through around 5:15 p.m. this evening. We'll want to tell them to pull over and get to a safer spot until this storm passes, and also be alert for some additional watches, warnings, and advisories to be issued throughout the rest of the afternoon. We also do have another severe thunderstorm warning. That one is in effect for northern Center County, and that storm also has a history of producing some damage. I'll see if we could get just a little bit more information on that severe thunderstorm warning into Center County and see what we are looking at there. So that storm is capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Could see damage to roofs, siding, as well as down trees and power lines. So again, we have stressed this throughout most of this afternoon. It is very important to keep your devices charged and have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings as they are issued, as we are seeing a very active environment throughout the rest of today. Also seeing some torrential downpours as well as some very frequent lightning, and we have seen that throughout most of the day. A lot of you might have even been woken up to some frequent lightning and some heavy downpours earlier this morning. But we are keeping a close eye on this tornado warning still in effect for portions of Jefferson County and also Clearfield County just downstream from this tornado warning. We'll want to keep a close eye on it. We are starting to see that rotation weaken a bit, but you still will want to keep an eye on this storm as it moves into your area, as we could see that end up re-strengthening down the line. So we will put another storm cone on this to go over some more specific locations that this storm will be going over. Okay, we have actually come across that video that I was mentioning earlier, the photos and the video of that potential tornado moving through Somerville. Can't bring it to you on air just yet, but we will try and get that to you, whether it's online, through social media, or if we could end up bringing it to you on air, we'll try and get that to you as soon as possible. But we are still looking for potential damage and also for photos and videos. If you could safely do so, of course, be sure to send us any damage reports that you might have. You could send it to us on Facebook as well as on our website. But again, only do so if you could do so safely. That's the most important part, is you all staying safe through this severe weather outbreak that we have been dealing with for the past few hours. So we are still watching that tornado warning, checking out for any potential updates on that. No additional updates from the National Weather Service now, but I am going to put that storm cone back on there. This storm is moving again to the southeast at around 30 miles per hour. So we are seeing some very slow moving storms, and that's why we are seeing that flooding threat as well. I'll put this storm cone on for you there, and we are going to extend that as, yes, we did just have a severe thunderstorm warning issued for downstream of this tornado warning for portions of Clearfield County. So areas that I'm mentioning now should be in your safe spot now. If you are not already, you will want to get there as soon as possible. By around 5:10 p.m., this storm will be moving through Clover Run, 5:25 p.m. This storm is expected to move through Grampian. By around 5:34 p.m. this storm will be moving through Kerwinsville, and by 5:40 p.m. we are expecting this storm to move through Glen Ritchie. So a lot of those towns that I did just list are outside of that tornado warning, but we did just have a severe thunderstorm warning issued just downstream of that tornado warning that we've been following for the past half hour or so. So we are actually going to go downstream to there and get a little bit more information on now this new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Clearfield County. So I'll get you some more information on that in just a bit. And again, we are going to still keep a very close eye on that radar indicated rotation within this severe thunderstorm warning, as we do have that tornado warning just upstream. The severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for southern Clearfield County at around 4:55 p.m. This thunderstorm was located near Sandy, moving east at around 35 miles per hour now. This storm is capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So again, we will see that potential for some damage to mobile homes, roofs, siding. We could see down trees and also down power lines. So make sure you have multiple ways to receive either this broadcast. We'll walk you through everything you need to know throughout the duration of these warnings. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive those warnings if you do end up losing power, whether that's through your charged devices, TV, or even radio. So that severe thunderstorm warning just issued for Clearfield County, and we are also going to keep a close eye on that rotation that is currently in Jefferson County, if that could possibly move into Clearfield County. So if you are within that severe thunderstorm warning, you will want to get to your safe spot now. We'll zoom out here to see if we are seeing any other watches or warnings popping up as well. And then this one we will keep a very close eye on as well. Another tornado warning just outside of our viewing area. That's into Westmoreland County. You can see that area highlighted here. If this storm does end up moving into Cambria and Somerset counties, we will bring that live to you on air as well. But I will give some more information on that storm just in case that does end up moving into either Cambria or Somerset counties. So areas just downstream of that warning that will likely include Davidsville and Johnstown, going to want to be keeping a very close eye on that tornado warned storm. So that tornado warning was just issued for east central Westmoreland County at around 4:55 p.m. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Latrobe, moving to the east at around 25 miles per hour. So again, we are continuing to see that trend with very slow moving storms producing torrential rainfall, strong wind gusts, and they are starting to rotate as well. So no confirmed tornado on the ground there yet either, but that is a storm that we will be keeping a very close eye on as that continues to slowly move closer to our area. So Somerset and Cambria counties, keep a very close eye on that storm as well. And if that does end up moving into those counties, we'll bring that live to you on air. But for now, we are continuing to focus on our warning in Jefferson County. And even if you aren't included within any of the warnings that we have seen so far this afternoon, severe weather still on the table for everyone, as we are now starting to see those severe warnings popping up into the southern half of our area. Like again, that tornado warning just beginning to move into Westmoreland County. Most of our area today under that level 3 enhanced risk for severe weather, and that does mean that any severe weather threat is on the table today, and we have already seen a lot of those threats materialize. We've had quite a few tornado warnings, no confirmed tornadoes on the ground, but we have seen a few pictures and videos of a potential tornado in Somerville near Jefferson County. We will continue to try and bring you that online as we head toward the next couple of minutes. Hail is possible as well. And we are expecting some strong wind gusts within any severe thunderstorm up to around 60 miles per hour. And flooding is very possible as well. We already have seen and gotten some instances of flooding reported to our newsroom so far today. And due to that, we do have a flood watch in effect for the entire area this afternoon, where we did have that tornado warning move through Clarion and Jefferson counties. We do have a flash flood warning in effect there. And then Somerset and Bedford counties still do have that flash flood warning in effect for around the next hour or so. So if you do have to head out on the roadways, really any time over the next few hours, definitely going to want to look out for potential flooding and potential ponding on the roadways. And even if you haven't seen a severe storm move through your area so far today, the threat is there for everyone. severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the entire area through later this evening. What that means is that all of the ingredients for severe weather are there, and really any severe weather threat is possible as we head toward the rest of the day, and it already has been a very active afternoon thus far. So if you are just joining us this afternoon, we are just after 5 o'clock here on ABC 23 and WJAC. We have been following quite a bit of severe weather so far this afternoon in the form of tornado warnings, flash flood warnings, and severe thunderstorm warnings, and we are continuing to follow quite a few of those this afternoon. We do have one tornado warning currently still active in our area, and that is the one that we are following in Jefferson County. So that one's still in effect for around the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. As of now, that tornado warning is set to expire at 5:15, but we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings being issued just downstream from that. So we will get some more information on those as well. But I do want to take another look at the radar indicated rotation that we are seeing within that Jefferson County cell. And thankfully, it does look like it has weakened significantly since we started tracking this storm around a half hour or so ago. What we look for on this velocity is reds and greens coming closer together. That's indicating that there is wind within the storm going toward and away from the radar, and the closer and darker that those colors get next to each other, that indicates some potentially strong rotation within the storm. We were seeing some much brighter colors and some much tighter rotation within that storm earlier today when that warning was issued earlier this afternoon. Now we are starting to see that rotation weaken and broaden just a bit, so that's definitely good news for that area. But if you are still within that area in Jefferson County, as well as areas into Clearfield County, you will want to get into your safe spot now if you're not already there. I am going to throw a storm cone on that really quick for you, and we are going to extend this for the next around 45 minutes or so. Even though that does exceed our tornado warning, we still do have that severe thunderstorm warning downstream from that. So Curry Run by around 5:20 p.m. That's when we are expecting that radar indicated rotation to be moving over your area. 5:29 p.m. that storm moving toward Lumber City. 5:33 Bretonville. 5:39 Glen Ritchie. So if you are within any of those towns that I did just mention, a lot of those are just outside of the tornado warning that we have been tracking for around the past 30 to 40 minutes or so, but you still will want to keep a very close eye on that storm, as we have seen those storms end up re-strengthening a bit, or that rotation tightening up just a bit as they continue to move downstream. So that is the one that we are continuing to focus on, and that we will stick with you with for the next around 10 minutes or so until that warning is allowed to expire. Or if it does end up getting extended, we will stick with you for that as well. So we will clear this out. But then I do also want to take a look at the other tornado warning that's just outside of our area, that one into Westmoreland County. So places into Somerset and Cambria counties, we'll have to keep a very close eye on this storm as well as that continues to move off to the east. I will get a little bit more information on that, and then we could put a storm cone on that and see where that could potentially be entering our area over the next around half hour or so. So that tornado warning was issued for east central Westmoreland County. That was last located over Latrobe, again moving very slowly at around 25 miles per hour. So we are seeing some very slow moving storms today, and that's why we are seeing that flooding threat as well. So we are seeing that radar indicated rotation there. No confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground just yet, but what we are looking for again is those reds and greens coming closer together, and that's exactly what we are seeing into Westmoreland County. We're seeing those reds and greens coming closer together, and I will put a storm cone on there as well, moving very slowly to the east at around 25 miles per hour. So we will put that on here now. That moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. And I will extend this storm cone even beyond the warning time, just in case that tornado warning is extended rather, or a severe thunderstorm warning is issued. So could be moving into this storm, could be moving into Davidsville and Somerset County by around 5:53 p.m. So southern Cambria and also northern Somerset County will want to be keeping a close eye on that tornado warned storm into Westmoreland County. So we'll zoom out here and get a better view at some of the other warnings that we do have going on, that we also still do have to watch for some potential rotation. We have a few severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Clearfield County. We have another one just issued into northern Clearfield County as well. That severe thunderstorm warning is the one right here. That's the one we'll focus on for the next few minutes, getting a little bit more information on that warning here. So this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until around 5:45 p.m. this afternoon. National Weather Service has issued that for north central Clearfield County. That severe thunderstorm was located over Penfield. And again, moving off to the east very slowly at around 25 miles per hour. We also are seeing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts within that storm, so you could expect damage to roofs, sidings, also down trees and power lines. So I'm just going to double check here, see if we have any new information coming in on any of these watches or warnings from the National Weather Service. And it looks like we don't have any additional information, but we are going to continue to stick with you through the end of the tornado warning in Jefferson County, and we will be keeping a very close eye on the warning into Westmoreland County as well. So if you are just joining us, we have had a very active weather afternoon thus far. We have various watches, warnings, and advisories in effect for the entire area this afternoon. We will see that severe weather threat. So far today, it does look like our northern counties have been the hot spot for severe weather, as that's where we have had most of our warnings go into effect. Currently, we do have about 4 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, a flash flood warning, and then also that tornado warning. The tornado warning for Jefferson County is scheduled to still be in effect for around the next 5 or so minutes. That is set to expire at around 5:15 p.m. as long as that is not extended into Clearfield County. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings out ahead of that. So that tornado warning now just to the northeast of Punxsutawney, and likely that storm mostly moving into Clearfield County, but we will still take a look at the velocity again to see exactly what that storm is doing. And yeah, it still does look like that rotation is starting to broaden a bit and weaken a bit as well. As here is what we are looking at. We were seeing some of those darker reds and lighter blues, greens being closer together, and we still are seeing that just beginning to cross into Clearfield County. Looks like thankfully it is trending a little bit weaker and not getting stronger, but we still are going to keep a very close eye on that. And if you are within the path of this storm, you will want to get into your tornado safe spot now if you're not already there. So I will put another storm cone on that and see if we have any additional information on that storm. And it looks like still in effect for the next around 5 minutes or so. So I'll put that storm cone on there, and we will go over some of the towns that could be in the path of this potentially tornadic thunderstorm over the next around 50 minutes or so. So these spots may be outside of the exact tornado warning, but still going to want to keep a very close eye on that. Clover Run. This storm could expect to move through at around 5:13 p.m. By around 5:39, Lumber City should expect this storm to be moving through, and by around 5:51, Earhart expecting this storm to move through the area. That's where we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour. And we also have had some damage reports from that storm, so it is capable of producing some strong winds and some damage as well. So we are going to continue to keep a very close eye on that storm. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Clearfield County through 5:45 p.m. That is the one that is downstream of our tornado warning. That in effect again until 5:45 p.m. Main threats from those storms will be some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as well as the potential for some hail and just some absolutely torrential downpours. So as we head toward the next couple of minutes, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning into northern Clearfield County as well. We are watching that for some potential radar indicated rotation, but overall looking pretty weak within that storm. But it does look like really any storm that does develop today and is moving off to the southeast will have that potential to start rotating. And even if you aren't within any of these warnings that we have been going over the past few hours, everyone is under the risk for severe weather today. Most of our area under that level 3 enhanced risk for severe weather. Portions of Somerset and Bedford County under a level 2 slight risk. But to put this into perspective, that level 3 enhanced risk only occurs in Pennsylvania around 5 times per severe weather season. This is already the 5th time it's occurred in Pennsylvania this year. Not necessarily for our area, but it has been a very active severe weather season thus far. And what that enhanced risk means is that really any severe weather risk is on the table. Tornadoes, very well possible. We have had quite a few warnings already. While we haven't had any confirmation of tornadoes on the ground, we still do have that threat sticking with us throughout the rest of the evening. Large quarter-sized hail possible. High winds up to 60+ miles per hour are possible within any severe thunderstorm. And then we also will see that potential for some flooding. We've also seen that threat materialize as well. So in addition to the severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warning that we do have in effect this afternoon, we still do have a flood watch in effect for the entire area highlighted in green here, as these storms have been very slow moving, producing some torrential rain as well as some frequent thunder and lightning. Flash flood warning in effect for portions of Jefferson County this afternoon and still into Somerset and Bedford counties. And even if you haven't seen any severe weather in your area so far today, that threat will continue throughout this evening. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the entire area today, and that does mean that all of the ingredients are there for severe weather. So everyone will want to be alert for that potential severe weather throughout the rest of this evening and into tonight. So going to be very important to have multiple ways to receive watches, warnings, and advisories as they are issued throughout the rest of this evening, and if any additional ones are issued as well. So if you are just joining us, we do have just a couple minutes left on that tornado warning into Jefferson County. That is currently set to expire at around 5:15 p.m. So we have just about 2 minutes left on that. We haven't seen any additional information coming in on if that's going to be extended or not. And we are going to toss it over the desk right now for a few more updates.
All right, thanks, Kate. We appreciate that. You've been on the air for a long time. We want to give you a little bit of a breather here. So you're seeing those tornado warnings pop up in a few hour, a little bit more than that. So just what is a tornado warning? This is all coming from the National Weather Service. It means that a developing tornado has been detected by the National Weather Service Doppler radar or has been reported on the ground by reliable sources. If this tornado warning is issued for your county, you should seek shelter immediately. And if you see a tornado or live near an area and feel threatened, move to a safe place immediately, as precious seconds can save your life. If you're in a home or a small business, you want to go to the basement or a small interior room such as a closet, a bathroom, interior hallway, anything without windows or on the lowest level of your home. Put as many walls between yourself and the outside as possible, and if possible, get under something sturdy, a heavy table. Use a mattress to protect yourself from any possible flying debris you may encounter. Most of the injuries that are associated with high winds are coming from flying debris, so you have to remember to protect your head as well. If available, put on a bicycle. If you have a motorcycle helmet nearby, use that to protect yourself from any potential head injuries. If you're in a large business, a school, hospital, shopping center, or a factory, you want to go to your designated shelter area. And if a shelter area isn't available to you, the best place you can go is into an interior hallway on the lowest level. Stay away from the structurally weaker portions of a building, such as windows, rooms with expansive roofs, which are more likely to collapse when a tornado potentially strikes. And if you are in a mobile home or home on stilts, get out and take shelter in a sturdy building or storm shelter, the closest one that you can find to you. If there's none nearby, take shelter in the most interior room that has no windows, such as your bathroom or closet. If you get caught in a vehicle, get out and into a sturdy shelter. If one is not available nearby, get to a low spot and cover your head from flying debris. You don't want to take cover under an overpass, as this does not provide adequate shelter during a tornado and can cause increased wind speeds due to a tunneling effect. Make sure you don't waste time opening windows in an attempt to prevent damage to a building. The old belief that damage could result from rapid pressure change during a tornado, that's just not the case. Make sure that you're heeding any of these warnings, and it will not make a difference in a tornado if a window is open or not. Your safest course of action is to take shelter immediately when a tornado is issued for your area. And again, you've been hearing Kate talk about all of this up in Jefferson County. We are just getting in our first video from a viewer that does show some of a strong rotation. This is in the Somerville area. If we can bring up that video now, if we have it ready. And that we do. This is coming from Hope Smith, who gave us this video courtesy of Facebook. You can start to see the beginning of rotations taking place there. These are exactly the kind of things that we are warning you about. It's why we come on air when events like this take place, to make sure that you are being safe. If you are in eyesight of something like this, whether it's taking place up in Jefferson County, or as Kate was telling you about a few others that are coming into the area, if you see anything like this, you have to get to the basement. You can head to our website at WJACTV.com, and then you can get us for a stream where you're able to see any of that. So, Kate, is there anything that you're seeing here in this video that we're seeing?
Yeah, so we can't confirm a tornado on the ground just from that video, but we definitely are seeing that rotation that we were following within that storm. And if you can safely send us any pictures of stuff like this really helps us see exactly what those storms are doing. We were following that on radar, and thankfully, since then, that tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So we will definitely be sure to keep you updated on any additional watches, warnings, or advisories that are issued throughout the rest of the afternoon. We are keeping another close eye on a tornado warning into Westmoreland County. If that does end up crossing into Cambria and Somerset counties, we'll be sure to bring you live coverage here.
Absolutely. So again, this is video that you're seeing. This is from that tornado warning a little bit earlier from in Jefferson County. This is in the Somerville area. Hope Smith sent us this on Facebook. Again, try not to be storm chasers. Don't go out and try to get too close to anything that you might see developing, especially if you are in these tornado warning areas that we're coming to you to tell you about. But if you do have something that you were able to safely send to us that you got earlier, please do. You can reach out to us at WJACTV.com. All right.
And we still do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings in effect across the area, mostly into our northern counties. That tornado warning that we were following into Jefferson County has been allowed to expire. We are watching that tornado warning in Westmoreland County. If that does end up crossing into Cambria and Somerset counties, we will be able to bring you live coverage here. So stay tuned throughout the rest of today for any updates on any of those severe watches or warnings.
This has been a